Welcome into the channel, guys. With summer officially upon us, seeing all of the fresh fruits and veggies in the produce aisle, I decided to go ahead and put together a strawberry and cream cheese bar cake. These are the ingredients that I am going to be using. So let's go ahead and get into the recipe. Now I'm going to be making my own version of cake flour. And what you see me doing here is I'm scooping up my flour into my measuring cup so that I can make sure that I have the exact amount that I need for this recipe. And for every cup of flour, I'm removing 2 tablespoons and replacing it with 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. So that's what you see me doing here. I'm adding 3 teaspoons of baking powder, and half a teaspoon of salt. I'm now going to take my ingredients and I'm going to sift everything thoroughly so that it is all combined. And I'm going to do this a total of 3 times. And as you can see, it's starting to look and it feels just like cake flour. For my flavorings, I'm adding in a teaspoon of vanilla, a teaspoon of butter extract, and a teaspoon of almond extract. Now we want this cake to be really light and fluffy and moist. So I'm using 3/4 cup of unsalted butter, room temperature, and 3/4 cup of canola oil. We're now ready to go ahead and mix our butter, canola oil, and our baker's sugar. And we're going to mix for about 3 minutes until it comes to a light, fluffy texture, and it is a light yellowish color. So I'll show you what that looks like. We're starting out with a low speed so as not to splash. And then I will crank it up a bit and let it get mixed in really well. And then we're going to go ahead and add in the sugar. Adding my sugar. And we'll be back in 3 minutes to show you what it looks like. And this is the texture and the color that you need it to be. I'm now going in with my 1/4 cup of sour cream. And again, it's at room temperature. All of your ingredients need to be at room temperature. I'm adding in my blend of extract, Going in to scrape down my bowl, and we're going to come in and get everything mixed together. I'm now getting ready to add in my eggs, and I'm adding them in one at a time. Mixing just long enough to get the yolk broken up pretty well in the batter before I add the next egg. Mixing my eggs in just under 2 minutes on speed 4 because I want my batter to have the air in it. That's going to give it the fluffiness that I'm looking for. So we're done with that. Moving on to the next step. Scraping my bowl before we do move on to the next step. And then I'm going to go ahead and go in and add my wet and my dry mix. Starting out with my flour, my dry mix, and then I'm going to alternate with my buttermilk and try to do this in intervals of 3. Being careful not to overmix. You want to let the paddle go around the bowl about maybe 4 times before adding in your next ingredient. You're going to end with your dry mix, the remainder of your flour. Let it mix a few times, go around the bowl a few times, and then you're going to go ahead and scrape down your bowl and get ready for your final mix. You want to be sure to scrape it really well, sides and the bottom of the bowl, so that all of your ingredients will get mixed in well. I'm doing my final mix on speed setting 5. And just shy of 2 minutes. And this is what you want your batter to look like. I have my well-loved 9 by 13 sheet cake pan here. And I'm using Pam and Baker's Joy both. I do not want this cake to stick. Simply lining the bottom with some parchment paper. And we're going to go ahead and get this baby into the oven. Now in the top left corner of the screen, I'm simply preparing my strawberries. And now that my cake has cooled down, removing it from the pan, and I'm going to go ahead and slice off the edges and section the cake off. I'm trying to be careful not to cut too much of the cake off. I'm only trying to trim the edges. And again, in the top left corner, you see me preparing my strawberries. I'm adding some lemon juice just to cut the sugar a bit, because this is going to be a really sweet dessert, guys. I'm going to add some sugar. I'm using half a cup to cover my strawberries in, and then I'm simply going to let them sit and soak up the sugar to release the juices, the natural juices of the strawberry. And that is what we will be adding to our cake. And I don't know if you can see that, but it's already starting to thicken. Didn't take too long for that. All right, so we're gonna go ahead, finish with the trimming of the edges of the cake, section it off, and then we're gonna come back and show you a bit of the decorating process. Now, I do want to let you know that because it is like triple-digit heat here where I live, so I had to put on like a crumb coat of my icing and then sit it in the refrigerator for it to stiffen up a bit, and then I came back around and put the final topping of the icing on. It was really challenging to try and get this cake to hold together because it is so hot, but we made it work, and we will let you guys see how it came out. So stick around for the rest of the video. Okay, so now that we have our cake cut in half, I'm taking each piece or each half, and I'm going to slice it down the middle. Now, be careful when you're doing this part because I went a little bit too deep along the edges, and it was like really thin or thinner than I needed it to be on the bottom layer. So you just want to be mindful of that when you're slicing. We're doing a quick, simple cream cheese icing, and my ingredients consist of vanilla extract, butter extract, a touch of coconut extract, 16 ounces of softened cream cheese, and some powdered sugar. I'm adding also just a touch of heavy whipping cream, about 4 tablespoons. Now this is where I told you guys I went too deep with my slicing. But we're simply going to toss some icing on top of there, and we're going to let this baby rock. So let's go. I'm simply going to layer icing, strawberries, and cake. That's all I'm doing here until it is complete. Now, because of the heat, this cake was sliding all over the place, so it was a bit of a challenge to keep it together, but we managed to get it done. So Just hang in there with me. Babe, are you still eating cake? While I'm editing the video, guys, my husband is munching down on this cake. Babe, do you like the cake? Did you guys hear it? Ow! Wait a minute, guys. I gotta let you hear. What did you think of the cake, sweetheart? Is it good? Did you like it? You love it? That's not what you said initially. What did you say initially?
Like what?
What's the noise you made? Oh, he likes the cake, guys. I just had to let you guys experience that. He is so funny when it comes to eating American foods, foods that he's not used to. So I was surprised at his reaction with this cake. But usually, you know, if you've watched my channel, you know when I make a cake, I take it out and give it to the homeless. But he's already told me I'm just going to have to do another one for the homeless because this one is his. All right, guys, back to the video. We've clowned enough. I think at this point, it's been in the fridge. Yeah, with the crumb coat on there. And I'm now going in to try and add the last layer of icing. Okay, here you go, guys. I have added my strawberries and my blueberries, and we are done with this video now. Alrighty, guys, I will catch you guys on the next one, Yah willing. Until then, shalom.